Hello and good evening. Just got a text right when I started this. I'm going to shut this off. Oh, how's everybody doing? Oh wait, I gotta pull up my chats so that I can see everything. Got a few people here. I'll wait a little bit for a couple more to join. Let's see, close that tab. Okay, we looked at. We're a little behind on some stuff. I'm just looking at the plan here. What's up, Sky? We got a couple more people joining in. That's good. See, I'm going to shut this off because I've got this little thing that's in my way. How do I get rid of it? Hello, Silverwing. I know I've really got to do a better job making sure the social media posts go out on this thing, just so that we can get this out to as many people as possible, because I know that it's going to be a repeat, but you know, it's recorded, so that's always a good thing. And everybody can hear me? Is that true? Go ahead and throw a heart or thumbs up or something if you can hear me. Got tennis ball head right now. Loud and clear. Wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Why not? By the way, this is a little bit free form tonight. There's a couple of things. I know that I've seen some conversations in the Discord that people have been asking about. So we will talk about those. I wanted to do tonight because it's really an official thing that we are going to be working with FanX this year. We basically went over the things that we needed to. We still have to get a couple of the things ironed out on the marketing side, but it looks like everything's going to be moving forward with that. And with that comes a lot of fun stuff. So there is probably some speculation about what was happening in that image before the live stream. I can confirm that there is going to be a new breed of dragon announced here in the upcoming days. And as of right now, I will let you guys know this, just because we've got some good fans here, and you guys have been so great in supporting this project. It isn't exclusive. As it is right now, because we've been discussing the different ways. What FanX is giving us is what I should say, what the people at FanX are working with us to be able to do is bring to you a really good experience. We'll talk about this more. Hopefully there'll be we've got a whole email campaign, social campaign, and everything else. You'll see a bunch of stuff going on leading up to the event. Just to give you guys a reminder, FanX is September 26th through 28th in Salt Lake City this year at the Convention Center. So if you're in the area, I would recommend getting tickets. If you haven't upgraded to VIP and you plan on going, but you want to upgrade to VIP, I might even hold off on that just for a second, just because we're putting some things together that may be included in that side. So those are the things that we're working out right now, but I am confirming that we are going to have a new breed. We will be introducing it there, and so far it is going to be an exclusive. And for those of you that are wondering, it is, I guess, I can just let you know this. It's a quadruped, right? And it's a super cool dragon. Some of you may have had the opportunity to see it before. I know that there's probably a lot of speculation on whether it's Timber Skull or the Altum or those kinds of things, but I'll just keep that a surprise. But we are working on some things. Like I'm looking at this, bets on if my truck will make the 20-hour round trip. Here's the good thing. If we actually do our show well enough with FanX, this is something that we hope to roll out. My gosh, I've got still pointy eyebrows. I'm sorry. I'm going to fix that. Something that we are going to continue to work with them and support. And what that means is currently FanX is got 5 different venues around the country on a yearly basis. I think that they have one in Tampa this next month. They've got one in, is it Minneapolis or Minnesota? I'm not really sure, in November. And then I think they have a couple more in the beginning of the year next year. And so how we do on this one will also kind of predetermine on what it looks like for us to be traveling around with them. But we're looking to make that. So if you can't make this trip, that's okay. If you are interested in this dragon, I think that we're going to figure out a way to make that happen. But we'll, again, I will have more announcements on that in the future. I was thinking about even showing some of the concepts of the egg, but we should actually have a prototype sometime soon. Let's just put it that way. How about that? Because I'd rather show close to what the egg's going to look like in manufacturing versus concept renders, because concept renders are usually a lot easier to make than manufacturing. But yeah. Severus is already asking questions about confirmations. I will confirm this, that some of you have seen this dragon before. That's what I will confirm. So there you go. But I will not confirm or deny if it is, which one it is. So interesting on the pricing range on this. So retail, we're putting in some bells and whistles into the egg, and we're going to see how this comes out through the process. And what I mean bells and whistles is we're hoping to have some dynamic elements to it, whether that's just special UV pigments or some other things that work that way. And so when we look at the pricing of this is really going to be based off of the rarity of the dragon specifically and the type of dragon that it is, more so than it is anything else. But the eggs are going to be super cool. And they are going to be in a color scheme that just about everybody's been asking for. So I apologize for that, because I know that you're just like, oh, really? Now I have to think about that. But we will have the Affirm in place as well. So, and we are going to open up the reservations again to allow people to reserve prior to the event. So just as before, when you reserve, then that money will go toward the purchase of during the event or post follow-up, depending on what happens. Yeah, we just want to make sure again that it's you guys can get what you want, and we can deliver what you want, and that. But the show's going to be awesome. We are going to showcase some things there, and I'm sure that you'll see it on social media if you are unable to attend. But again, if it goes well, we'll be traveling, and hopefully that will be something that will be an ongoing thing. So we're really excited about it. We're working really hard right now, because I know that there were some things that have been referenced to my last Lauren story about what's going on with the app, what's going on with some of the other pieces of this. And so I will just say this. The reason why we haven't hit publish just yet, because I know that some of you were asking about that on the store, is because I actually stopped everybody. And I recognized that we're publishing. If we go live on the store, there are so many other things to worry about than just you guys, the people that are very familiar with this project. And what I didn't want to have happen was somebody come across our app, download it, get in there and go, I don't get it. Right. And we've had a lot of discussion about what you do in the app, how it works, those types of things. And so we had to take a moment because we're like, wait, all the new people, if this is their first touch with Dragon Federation, then they have to know about the eggs. They have to know about the Oculus or the VR side of things, the XR side of things. And they have to know how this app contributes to that larger piece. And we were missing that. And so we put in kind of some walkthroughs about how to use the app, which will also be helpful to a lot of other people as well. And we're also kind of putting a little bit of a knowledge base around normal targets, exceptional targets, heart rate, core temperature, these things, how they work, what they're going to be doing, what does that mean as you raise it, those types of things. And so they were just small little pieces. We've got most of it done. I'll just say that because we're not that far away. And also we wanted to align it with kind of a PR strategy so that we can get some stuff out there, tease some stuff a little bit, begin to publish some of the trailers and do some of those types of things. So that's why you haven't seen anything on it yet, but it is coming soon. And like everything else, we're letting you guys know that because you still will be able to practice. You'll still be able to go through all that while the back end systems that are going to be making sure that they're reading the APIs correctly with like some of the weather instances, GPS, like some of the other actions and that type of thing. So there will be an update that's a follow through. So that schedule's still the same, but I just wanted to keep you guys abreast on what's happening with FanX, happening with New Dragons. I mean, it still is the year of the dragon, so let's capitalize on that. And then what's going on with the app. And so there you go. There's still Breeding Beast Whisperer. It does, let's see. After raise them can be sold outside the show. Like outside the venue or otherwise. What will happen, so we are going to be doing a limited run for sure at the show, but that doesn't mean that might necessarily be the quantity as much as our manufacturing timeline to be able to pull that many eggs out of the realm is going to be extraordinarily tight. So these are going to be, I imagine that these are going to go fairly quickly, to be honest with you, just because of the capacity of what we're going to be able to do. But again, like reservations, there's a really good chance that these eggs, I will say this, that these eggs are going to have engraved in some way or another their actual number. Because we know that we didn't get that on the Mountain Skull versions, but like as far as like one of will be connected with that. And we are working with a partner that will have some cool add-ons to this. I know that we've been talking about like stands, certificates. There's even some things that we're working with at the show that I don't want to spoil because I don't know if it's going to happen yet. But it's just like little add-ons and fun, cool things that you can come home, hang up on your wall, do some other stuff with that just will be able to stoke this. Because from a manufacturing side, we were able to, I don't want to say partner with anybody, but we are in conversations right now to work with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Peterson Gaming or Peterson Games company. But we are making some inroads there, and forgive me, I would say the name of one of their most popular games, but it's like a tongue twister for me, Cthulhu or something like that. Anyway, there will be more. Again, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of things to come. We can talk about that, but There is still breeding, just in case. Let's see. I'm not sure I will aim for any higher rarity. Yeah, this one, it's interesting because this breed, as of right now, I don't know if there's going to be a specific rarity within this breed for the show, as much as it's going to be more one version. And I know that I'm being a little bit cagey right now, but that's because it's gonna, like, when we reveal it, you'll be like, oh, that's awesome. You'll be excited about it. I know, because we've talked about it before. So the game, I'll talk about that more in the future. I had a really good meeting with them. I don't want to go too much in detail about something that is just whispers right now. But they're really cool people. They like what we're doing. I like what they're doing, and we're gonna try and partner up in some ways, because we think that there's a lot of really good value between what they're doing and what we're doing, and they will also be at FanX. So, definitely, if you're around the area, just come by, at least come by the booth and drop a line, because say hi. We'll have a lot going on. Cheerleading from everyone at home. Perfect. Cheerleading's great. Let's see. So the only other thing that I wanted to address is that we've certainly been taking care of the eggs. We have confirmed on pretty much all of these that it was on some of the first runs. That hasn't happened at all on the older versions. So as far as some of the cracking issues and those types of things, we do have the fixes that are issued for those. Those seem to be working, as well as that we haven't seen that happening on any of the revisions that we did. So, and again, it's such a low percentage right now that it's not anything to really be worried about or be concerned about. But like I said, we've been making that right, and I just wanted to bring that up again. Good grief, this is just more of kind of like an update, right? Because is there any questions? I'll just throw this out to you guys. What are some of the things that you've had on your mind, whether it be about what's going to be happening in the world, some of the other maybe tech that you've heard about or want to know about integration wise, if there's anything that you want to know on the breed side of things other than what I've told you on the new one, because I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, does anybody have any thoughts that they would like to be able to address to me right now? Can the community send one person to the expo to go pick up our eggs? 100%. That's one of the things that I was talking about. I was chatting with Dice about that, because I know that there are people that are going, and I know that Salt Lake is it's not like a destination venue unless you're a skier, right? Or a mountain biker, and September is really not the time or the place for that. But yeah, if there are people going, there's no reason why somebody can't pick one up. We're not going to limit the reservations to the amount of purchases either. So those types of things can all be shared, played, all those types of things. But the reservation will be valid for one purchase. So if you want more than one, then you'll want to get multiple reservations, if that's fair to ask. But yeah, we should have some pricing coming in on that. And it's not going to be, just so that you guys know, because I do want you to prepare for it as best as can. It's not going to be much more than where we already are with the Mountain Skull. So just because what we are putting into the egg to make it a little bit more interesting is, well, I don't want to go too far down the road of this because I just talked with my manufacturer, actually our in-house guy, and I was like, okay, what do you have for me? Because we were supposed to have a prototype today, and I was debating on whether or not we're going to show it, but he's got his own preference of which one he likes because we're doing a couple of different ones, and I was seeing if we were going to be able to showcase that today. But nonetheless, how many exclusive dragons are you doing? So as of right now, we're just doing the one. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be another one in the future. There is a very good chance, because of the way that this plays out, if this goes well, this is also kind of going to be a pilot experiment with some of the other partners that we have in mind. And again, if it goes well, then there might be a good chance that we do some other exclusive engagements. But the cool thing is, I will say this, regardless if it's an exclusive engagement through these types of things, or like you might be able to get it down the road or in the future or at another venue or at another thing, right? Or even perhaps online through like a specialty invite to a store. It's all going to work and take place in the same place, right? So the Dragon Realm and everything else that we're building is all going to be hosting this stuff. So it's not like, oh, this one's going to get special abilities or classes or those types of things that don't come, sort of that validation of it. It's really just kind of looking at, when we do these partnerships, what does the partner have to offer? Sometimes that could be even an extended universe, right? And so like one of the games partners that we're working with, if that goes forward and everything works with that, the opportunity to be able to use your dragon in their experience, as well as use your dragon in our experience, the way that we've designed it. Those are the types of things that we're kind of hunting for, right? So that's kind of all I'm saying about like, how many exclusive dragons are you doing? Right now, we're just doing the one, but I mean, if you look at some of the facts or some of the conversation around how many breeds we're going to be releasing over the course of the next few years, I mean, it gets big. So if you were planning on collecting all of the dragons, Godspeed. There's got to be a medal for you to be able to do that. Let's see. Cerberus will send you missing numbers. We've added this new egg. Will there ever be a way to determine what number current eggs are? So unfortunately, because of the way that they were packed and shipped, they won't. But the one thing that we do know for sure is the batching that happened for the first generation, or generation 0, as we like to call it. We can tell by markings on it of where they were. So there's still like really cool collector things that will still be able to identify where they are. But as far as the number within the rarity, yeah, we don't have that particular information. The only way that we could go back and do that is through a manual purchase event, right? So when the eggs was actually purchased and when it was shipped, and we might still be able to do that and issue something down the road, but it's just not. It's a lot harder to go back and do those things, but you never know. You never know. Life goals. I love it. I love it. We do have some things that are coming up too that we've been working on the Oculus experience that should be able to expand that. But we've been, definitely sharing that with those of you that have been playing with it. So that's. I just stopped mid-sentence. I do that way too much. I stop mid-sentence. Yeah, a lot of the things that I've been working on personally, and that's why I haven't even been in the daily stand-ups with the devs, because I've just been working on a lot of the stuff that we've got going on the fundraising side. We're still doing that. That's going well. We've got a lot of, again, interested parties. We're putting together. We're sending out offer sheets and those types of things to a few of them. So, again, if you're still interested in that or know somebody that might be, please reach out to me. You can DM me on any one of the channels, especially Discord, and we can talk about that. But yeah, still moving through all of that. I'd like to think of becomes extremely popular that any early eggs are going to be worth more money. I mean, that's one of the things. Sorry, I was reading the comment, Beast Whisperer, Wintern 101, talking about like as we get more popular than the first eggs. Look, if you look back at any collectible, it doesn't matter what it was. For me, when I grew up, and I'm about to date myself, so I apologize, but Garbage Pail Kids, that was a big thing. It was a fad that came in and out, but like the season 1 of was it? I don't know if it was called season 1 or generation 1. Series 1. That's what it was. Of the Garbage Pail Kids, or even like baseball cards, right? Baseball cards. I have the entire set. Here's another dorky moment for me, but I'm with friends. I've got the entire Fleer X-Men set that was issued from like the X-Men 97 collection. And so I have that entire thing. And yeah, there's some cards in there that are still worth a lot of money. But yeah, if you look at sort of those first generation collectibles, there are the markers that are identifiable. And even if you had just things like the original Kenner Star Wars action figures in the box, there's some of those stuff goes for like crazy money, and we don't think that ours is going to be that much different. So obviously, the eggs are a little bit different of a collectible, which we think they're better than most things. But that's just for bias. Let's see, how far you say the VR game coming out? So that's a hard question to answer, right? Because we have the demo. And if you haven't been able to play the demo and you're speaking more specifically about that, the next month is going to be kind of telling of where we are in that whole sequence. And we will, I hate to say this because things go wrong all the time, and I've prevented ourselves. So I've learned a lot of lessons doing this since the Kickstarter, but we should be able to have all of this stuff out in the stores, like on the marketplaces, long before FanX. Our goal was a while ago, and we've got some good people all putting it together. And like I said, we've already been given the green light to publish on a couple of these things. And so we just want to make sure that when we do turn that on, that whether you enter in through Oculus or whether you enter in through Android or whether you enter into the website, social media, the Apple Store, that it all points, right? That you understand very quickly that it's like, oh, this is bigger than just this app. Or I have an opportunity, and the app will prompt you and say, hey, are you interested in an egg? Do you want to go see your dragon after it hatches? All of these types of things that are being tied together right now so that it's universal. And that's really what we're working through. So when we say how far would we say is the VR coming out? If you already do have an Oculus 3 or a 2 and you would like access, we're giving that to anybody that would like to take a look at it. So just make sure you reach out to the moderators with your Oculus ID, and we'll also get you early access to it. So there's that. Let's see. I have to breed and trade and collect them all. Pokemon has prepared me for this. Wonderful. Glad that you're ready to trade them all. I am seriously. We're gonna have to make a medal or some sort of achievement for somebody that actually gets them all. That would be crazy. Multiple from Marcy's. They just want one of them and wants to sell the others to buy other species eggs, or someone would. Okay, you guys are talking about selling your eggs because it's like selling your dog or your cat, right? Yeah, I can hear that. But again, like as a collector, Yeah, you could probably buy some and have them unopened, or it's like, oh, this one was a mystery egg and I never found out what it was, and it's wrapped in the original packaging. Would you like to find out what this is? All right, let's see. What else, you guys? What else is on your mind? And again, I'm just kind of keeping it short, answering questions because not too much to show. We've been doing like that a lot of the cleanup, a lot of the additive stuff on that side, and making sure that what we're working toward. Because once we got kind of the yes with the partnership with FanX, it's like, okay, now we've got 1,000 things to do, and we've got to get it done in a couple of months because our time frame is, as you know, very, very short. So yeah, that's where my head's been at. Changing packaging now, as far as the box is concerned, or the way that stuff is placed inside, or the way that the egg is, we since the leveled up thing, we've actually gone away from the straw. So, I guess that's a spoiler alert if you haven't gotten an egg. But we did go away from straw. So there is a little bit of package update. We are hoping to do something again for FanX that would make it's really cool. I'm going to see how this implements because we've always had visions of the box or the packaging turning into something that could also be part of a nest or even a display. There's always that type of thing, depending on whether that becomes like an upsell or something. We'll have to look at that. But again, we're going to be testing some of this stuff out here soon. But as of right now, the packaging is still the same, but chances are it might be slightly different for FanX just because of the new breed, right? Anyway. You're doing bug tests. Yes, we are always doing bug tests. It's one thing about software development, Beast Whisperer. Bug tests are a thing that we have to do nonstop because every time we add a feature, we might break something. And we're not really building that poorly, but when we update so that we have more compatibility with other systems, there's always bug fixes. What else? What else do you guys have? But are there any plans to make smaller eggs to entice more people into the game? I get a pygmy is there, but it would be cool to have smaller breedable dragon eggs. So we made some smaller eggs, just to be really clear, and we were looking at bringing them to leveled up. Now, these were more just like collector's eggs and not something that would necessarily be something that you raise a dragon with. Our short term is maybe. And the way that we look at rolling this out, especially as we start to look at like a year from now, there's going to probably be a lot more offering, whether it's smaller, sort of like a varied pricing, or even a la carte of choosing like, hey, I got a pygmy, but I'd like an egg to go with that pygmy, or those types of things. And it's just really how fast this starts growing and we kind of expand, because as we just have to prioritize what our bread and butter is. Surprisingly, we're still selling way more eggs than we are of even the pygmy dragons, or even of the clone dragons. And so it's interesting when we talk about smaller versions in the package, and that's probably because you guys want the physical thing, and I imagine that's why you're actually asking the question, because it would be nice to maybe buy like a $50 pygmy or a 40 pygmy that has an egg or something that comes with it. Is that fair to ask or fair to say? because if that's something that we do want to do, I would just say that if you have bought a pygmy or you're thinking about buying a pygmy, maybe we should put that poll into Discord, because again, what we like to do is just kind of look at the things that you're really interested in having, especially like the vacation mode, right? Like this is something that will be in the app. I promise you guys that we'll have that in the app before you're worried about raising your dragon and all those things are going to go haywire. But just like any of these other features that you'd like, or product implementation that you would like, just let's put polls together. Let's talk about what you want. Let's vote for it, because we definitely want to appease you guys and continue to grow our community. So that's one people the game. Give us a hint. What is the weight of the new egg? So I haven't even held it yet, so I couldn't tell you. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see. Mini pitch fed eggs that were non-viable to collect is a cool idea. Yeah, I mean, I should just show you guys some of the stuff that we were doing, but yeah, we have about, I don't know, a handful of them, 10 to 20 of them that were made. They didn't really pass my standard for a finish, and so we didn't want to bring them in to just make sure that they were, something that was moving on. But it's definitely something that's going to be happening. It's just a matter of when we're going to have that priority. Damn, more damaged mini eggs that can hatch were broken. Okay. The only thing about that Kiss of Catholic is volume, right? Because we just don't want to get into something like where we've got the pygmy, right? So if we start doing just an add-on that maybe isn't announced, or we don't know the market for that, it's hard to plan like a miniature run when a lot of our manufacturing demands are like on the bigger eggs or the scales or some of the other pieces that we have. And that's why we just have to be really careful, especially at this stage, because I know that there's no shortage of ways to be able to have additional items. But we just have to be careful at this stage, because my gosh, we could be chasing tons of different opportunities from the product side that maybe only move like 10, 20, 30 units. And it's fun to have, but they're not necessary right now. And that's just because we're just trying to get to a scale adoption, if you will. No pun intended, maybe. That's all. I can guarantee you, though, that all of this stuff will... Wow, did I just say guarantee that all of this stuff? Let me rephrase that. Most of this stuff that we're talking about right now, as long as everything goes on track like we're talking, it will all come to fruition. So that is something that is something that... So Ems Brinson brought up a good question about be able to buy a digital version to decorate in your home or in the Dragon Realm. So I know that in miniatures, a lot of people like to paint their own or do that kind of thing. I'm actually going to pose that question. If you were able to get your own sort of keepsake and paint it, would you be interested in that? And not to say that would all of a sudden become digitized or that kind of thing, because I don't want to get into that crossover just yet. But even just having that keepsake that is a mountain skull egg or one of these other breeds that you could decorate and design your own way that you have, and even possibly use that as part of the experience, but you're just customizing it. Just curious on that, because I know that some people like to do that type of thing. If there was a kit, I guess we'd say. Damage eggs. be able to buy a subversion and decorate your home with it and then dragon realm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's kiwi. Okay. Not painting an egg, the dragon figurines. Just make it a doodle bear egg. Short answer, yes. Yeah, customizing the order before ship, that would be a toughie, right? Because that's going to be some sophisticated manufacturing with being able to design your egg and then or uploading an image. But who knows? AI is moving rapidly, so that might be something that could be looked at. Current miniature kits, they include resin. You can build something out of resin and provide a mold. I mean, sure. I mean, when we look at whether it's customized painting or customized resin, customized finishing, kind of like mix and match a kit, right? To be able to take that home and then finish it and design it the way that you want to. So, I mean, that would be something great, especially to look to like next year. And I apologize when I mumble like that when I'm reading the question because you guys don't know what I'm doing. And I usually try to repeat that, but I don't think I did that very well on that one. So Severus, I don't think that when we talk about like the kitted egg, if that's more like the color, I mean, because you do have the opportunity of taking an egg right now, right? And we do it all the time for Easter. And dyeing it or coloring it and doing that type of thing. It doesn't necessarily change the color as much as it's the color of the chicken, as much as it's just like something that you're personalizing. That's kind of what I was thinking, instead of necessarily having it affected in the long term or in the realm. But it's just like it's a one-off that really appeals to you. Yeah, skin, exactly. Because we can make egg cozies. So it's nice and warm. Coming to a Hobby Lobby, right? And then you can just like run to your Hobby Lobby and get it and put it together. The official Dragon Federation sanctioned egg coloring kit. The egg manufacturing kit. Any questions about any mechanics, anything about the world, any of the lore that you guys have in mind or have been thinking about that you would like to ask? All right. Well, I don't want to just take up a whole bunch of dead air. We've managed to go 45 minutes today. How big is the map going to be? So I would recommend Beast Whisperer that you go back and look at a couple more. I don't know when it was. What was it like? I want to say like 2 or 3 Lore and Stories ago. We actually showed some visual of the main map. Now, when we talk about the world as it grows over time, it's going to be massive. And we've talked about that before, but it is going to grow in sections and in time, especially with areas around the main area. But go take a look at that one. I do believe that we went into that pretty in depth. Maybe I'll put an annotation or something on here that will click to the video. But yeah, check it out because we do definitely talk about that. Player markets, that's still, it's still being discussed because we want to be able to have the iPhone, like the mobile phone apps to be able to be in the marketplaces, as well as what's going to happen on the VR side of things, which is also trying to correlate to what could happen in real life. Because I mean, the one thing that we do want to do is, like, as we start to do these conventions and other types of things, to be able to even possibly have partners, that are in those kiosks that can also be in the VR experience and on the mobile app. And so that's kind of the way that we're looking at it. But as far as making it available, it's going to be, we're a little ways out on that because the marketplace is it is slated on the roadmap, and I don't actually have in terms of the releases of what that is right in front of me. But yeah, we're just making sure that it all works together. On how the player markets binding, can that be learned while egg is incubating? 100%. So binding can be learned while the egg is incubating and throughout different times. Binding is one of the things that we're kind of, I don't want to say the gateway, but it's foundational to the overall because it's where you'll acquire a lot of the knowledge just by acquiring how to do certain things with binding. That's where a lot of that knowledge base is going to come from. So you will be able to do that while your egg is incubating. Have any kind of rough roadmap upcoming by chance? We are going to be publishing along with the first release. We should be able to have some updated roadmaps of what we're doing. It may not have the exact dates associated with it, but it will have kind of the planned what's next, right? So, and we do hope to have like those teasers inside the experience as well. As far as like, I don't want to say coming soon, but under construction, you'll see like a building going up in the distance, or some of the things like that make it feel like it's under like construction. That's one of the things that we wanted to talk about. So we will have kind of a roadmap that we will publish. It will be on the website as far as kind of the order of things. But yeah. Let's see how payments might work. Is that something that has to be arranged outside of DF? So when we talk about payments, are we talking about, let me be clear here, on the player markets and how payments would be updated? Because it would be something once the portal is injected that there would probably be, like encrypted bank accounts that are associated with your login. And so if you do have any pay or those types of things that are coming to you, that those deposits would be released similar to like an Airbnb or like an Etsy or any type of merchant portal, if you will, because that's really what it would be. Probably have a merchant account within Dragon Federation that would have all the back end of the items that you're selling, skewing those, making sure that you can set up your shop the way that you'd want to, and then being able to charge what works for you. And so that's really what we're looking, if that's what you're talking about. And it would work the same way. I mean, one of the things that we are trying to do when we actually open up the marketplace, just so you know, is it's really only going to work. And this is why we're talking with people like Amazon or even Oculus, because then you can purchase through connected sort of things. So if you're on your Oculus and you've got a connected account with that, then a player can go ahead and just click that or double click or add something to the cart and then be able to check out because they've enabled their wallet into that experience. And whether that's through Amazon or your Amazon account or your Apple account or those types of things, like be able to pay through these types of portals. And so, yeah, that's kind of the way that we're looking at setting that up so that you can still add your cards as a customer to your account. But then as the merchant, you would be able to just process that like any other marketplace. Let's see. Other VR places that we can take our dragon to find partners. Would there be an avatar for the dragon, or would be something that might actually affect the dragon? So the way that we're kind of doing it right now, or at least planning it, is that if there are other experiences that you take your dragon to that are enabled, your dragon goes into a safe mode, right? Because what happens, you can't really determine, and we can't determine what's going to happen to your dragon in that scenario. So although your dragon still may be able to learn from that experience, but especially to like playing styles or your personality, but it probably, as of right now, we're not planning it affecting the dragon or the experience in the way that you're raising it, if that makes sense. Discord was asked about someone making a plushie of their dragon through Etsy, for example, a one-off, not mass sold fan thing. Is there a place someone could ask you permission for? Are you making plushies right now that you want to sell, like a one-off? If you are, yeah, reach out to somebody, either the mods or me, and we can have a conversation about that. But that is kind of part of the plan. Whether it's a one-off or mass-produced, it doesn't really matter. You'll have the ability to do those types of things the way that you want to. Let's see. Yeah, it was the second line of this that I was just double checking on. But yeah, just reach out. And let's have a conversation about what you're specifically thinking and what you want to, and how you want to accomplish that. And let's see if we can't put it together. Asking about commissioning a personal one-off works from someone. Not making one. Oh, like if you wanted to commission work? We've talked about that. If it is based on the Dragon Federation IP, it's still a little fuzzy. We're not too draconian on that right now. As far as like, because we like the fan dedication. But again, let's just make sure that we at least have permissions and other things in place, because I just don't want any of you guys to get into a place that gets sticky. All right, you guys, we have nearly survived the hour. So thank you for spending the time with me. I know that we didn't get into too much of the specifics. I just wanted to I wanted to share my enthusiasm, right? Because we've got a lot of really cool things coming up, and there's actually more partnerships that we're in the works for right now that are so very exciting. And I know that so many of you are going to be very, very interested in them. But like I said, as we kind of get closer, you're going to start to see a lot more ramp up. You'll see a lot more activity in the email and social medias and all those types of things, because we're going to start another push coming here. But yeah, reservations will be coming up soon, so get ready for those. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for supporting this project, for being here tonight, for asking your questions, and to continue to support this, because we could not do it without you guys, and we appreciate you every single step of the way. So thank you, and have a good night.